makes me want to have a bowl. There was two people arrested in Blanchardstown above in Dublin after over €130,000 worth of cannabis was seized. And this came in Friday, so this should have been covered on Friday's 420 News, but apologies, I wasn't around. I was out there splashing around instead. But two people have been arrested in relation to drug trafficking after a huge operation led by GARDAI and revenue officers resulted in over 100,000 worth of herbal cannabis being seized in Blanchardstown. Alright, do you know what annoys me here about this, right? I was just listening on the news earlier today how a woman who had to get smear checks, because of the whole fucking cervical cancer thing, a lot of their tests have gone out of date. Basically, they sent off a sample to be tested and it had to go through a number of tests. But before it got to go through all of the tests, the sample that they were using, it went past its best by date, which means, look, any results taken from it can't be taken as trustworthy, as accurate. So a lot of these women now have to have the test repeated. The reason why these women's tests went fucking out of date is because of COVID, because of the pandemic. There was a hold up in the work being done. They couldn't get the work done. But the guards, these guys couldn't be any fucking busier taking our fucking cannabis at the moment. Like, the COVID did nothing to them coming and kicking in our door. Like, at the start of the pandemic, I had Foxy Peacocks, an Instagram lady who had her front door kicked in, and the guards came in to take away two little plants that she had grown out her back garden. They were only in a vegetative state. They kicked in her front door, they pinned her up against the wall, they put her in handcuffs, they put her in the back of a paddy wagon that had blood on the bloody inside of it during a pandemic, I might add. This was late in the evening too. She got taken out of her home at about 10:30 in the evening. She was not released from the Bridewell Garda station where I've planted the cannabis plants again recently. They left her out of that Garda station at about 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to walk the streets of Cork alone. Early in the morning, a lady left out of a prison, probably in a distraught state, probably not even properly dressed, as she was taken out of her home at such an improper time. Probably didn't even have the thoughts when she was leaving, get some proper clothes, like, or whatever. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if I was lounging around the gaff at about that time at night, I'd be probably in a shorts and t-shirt, like, in a house coat or something like that. I wouldn't be dressed for being out in the street. And if the cops would bring me to the aid station, I probably wouldn't even think to be putting on a fucking long pants. But like, that's what annoys me now. Like, the cops can kick in your door. There's no slowdown in them seizing cannabis and all of that shit. But because of the pandemic, there's patients out there whose test samples were not able to be tested in time. There's patients who've had their appointments cancelled. Like, there's people relying on this stuff for medicine. That's the other sickening thing about it. Like, they're so quick to take away a person's medicine, but they're not so quick to provide fucking proper, effective care to people for their health issues. It really annoys me. Like, that just really pisses me off. Like, but this was an intelligence-led operation as well, and they say a huge operation, like, meaning multiple individuals, multiple workers, from the various organisations, probably some high-ups as well involved in this, where they're getting paid a lot of money, paid with our fucking taxes as well. Like, are you happy that this is how they're wasting their time? I would imagine a lot of people are not happy with this kind of work being done by the Gardaí, taking away such a nice herb. Like, it's so enjoyable. Like, but during the search anyway, there was 6.68 kilos of cannabis with an estimated street value of €133,000 seized. One man aged in his 20s and a woman aged in her 40s were arrested. And a Garda spokesperson said, as part of ongoing investigations targeting persons suspected to be involved in organised crime operating in the Blanchardstown area, a joint, no pun intended, intelligence-led operation was conducted by Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau, Gardaí attached to the Drugs Unit of Blanchardstown Garda Station, and the Revenue Customs Service this afternoon. And that was on Friday afternoon. The operation resulted in the search of a premises in Blanchardstown where the 6.6 kilos of cannabis was found, pending analysis. again, analysis done for by our fucking money. And I would say like that, oh yeah, sure, the boys get all their stuff tested and the pandemic didn't slow it down. But in fairness, the pandemic, I don't think it slowed down the work of Forensic Science Ireland, but I reckon the pandemic has increased the amount of work that they have to do now. And that's probably why they're having tests come back out of date as well up in Forensic Science Ireland. But that's a completely different story, I suppose. So yeah, that's out of Blanchardstown, where 2 people have been arrested and over 6 kilos of cannabis is now sadly going to be destroyed. Like, such a disappointment, man. This was going to bring much joy to many people out there, and now unfortunately it's going to be destroyed. Shame on them. Absolute shame on them. It makes me want to have a bowl.